good night, people. Welcome once again. Welcome to the Sports Frenzzyy podcast. Another episode of our show. And you know that this is a football episode because for the weekend there was a lot of EPL action. You know that from EPL action take place, you'll see us here on a Monday to review whatever happened. So, as I mentioned, there were a lot of action, and some teams are still crying while some fans are jubilant over what happened. But I'm here tonight with two fella that once it comes on to football, they're quite knowledgeable about the game. Although they say that one man is best area is probably track and field and also basketball. But I know the next guy, this man, they can bring him in whichever atmosphere he can adapt because he's an all-rounder. I'm talking about the man that calls himself the rabbit sometimes, shakes himself. Welcome, bro. Well, God.
I'm good, Good
Wonderful.
night to everyone.
And then we have the voice of the average, the voice of the people, and the voice of the voiceless. Kems himself. Welcome, bro. Welcome.
Chilling, good, boss. Ready to talk about some winners and some losers.
And big up to the people in the comment section. I see a lot of them out tonight. Already we have 9 people. Come on, keep it growing. We're tired of the 20 odd viewers per night. We need to see the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. We have what? 753 subs the last time I checked. We need to see 50 viewers per night now. And just like I mentioned, I see Latoya, I see Jermaine Watson, Demo, Dale Francis, I see Owen Green, I also see Owen Dale. Big up on yourself, Now, this is where we're going to start. First up, Leicester against Leeds. From a far away out, I would probably look and say, yo, this look like a goals game in a farm. But unfortunately for betters, this game only had one goal in it, and it was Harvey Barnes, who seems to be a shining light in a Leicester team that hasn't been doing well, that came up with the goods. But Leicester has to give a lot of thanks to their goalkeeper, Keshper Michael. He was brilliant on the day. And Kems, I know that you were in tune with that game. What do you have to say about this game overall?
I guess is one of. So what I'll say is that looking at the Leeds team, and again, I know it's one game, but that's the only sample size that we have. But looking at the Leeds team, I think defensively they were a lot better. Right out the bat, you can look at that and see that defensively they were better. Offensively, it's the same team. They wanted to play the ball the same way. They're moving the ball the same way. But defensively, I think they were more whole. Defensively, they were running back, cover for each other, and doing a lot of defensive work. But as you rightly said, Schmeichel, he was really the one who, kept Leicester in the game. And I think we always talk about football and how cruel it can be. And it was definitely cruel to Leeds because I think Leeds at least deserve a point. I think they deserve 3, but at least a point, going away with that especially. But another thing I realized with the coach, I think his name is Marsh.
Yep.
What I realized with him is that after the game, he called all the members who play, who never play, all the members of the team, and huddle around, and he was giving them like a post game team talk, and I think those things for chemistry, I think it goes a far way, and I think it sends the right image, it sends the right message to the dressing room, and it's something that I really like. Will Lead stay up? I think they have a tough schedule coming up. We don't know, but right now, as I said, defensively, I like how they were. I like the shape, and I like how they tried to, withstand the pressure and really and truly try to win the game. So, props to Leeds, but Leicester found a way. The game wasn't going. The game wasn't going in their favor, and they just found a way, found a goal. Jamie Vardy started, but couldn't bring over that form from the last game. He was absolutely non-existent in that game for me. But Leicester won. I actually bought Leicester to win because I was like, boy, I think I saw somebody in the comment section. I'm not sure to it. They said, hey, that game is a 1-0 or a 2-0 game. I mean, I say, no, let me just buy Leicester to win. So I bought Leicester to win.
Whomever it was, just comment it back again and say it was me. I don't tell lies.
Yeah. Michelle, it wasn't you. It was a male. It was a
But
male. So, yeah.
here's a Demo saying that strange, they look better. And playing 4-2-4, I was shocked at how stable they looked.
Absolutely.
Oh, shit. What do you have to say about this one?
Yeah. So for this game, Kems is right. And this is where the point that I was talking, Bielsa, and when you guys were saying, "Oh, he's a good coach," but I'm like, but if you don't have the necessary tools, try to adapt to what is going on. So Jesse March clearly came in, saw that okay, they were bleeding at the back. See, everybody surprised that we never know that Leeds could actually play decent in terms of at the back. We all know they play all out attacking football, and if it weren't for Kasper Schmeichel, like they would have been up because the sort of saves that he made in the game and the chances that Leeds got, they should have won that game comfortably, right? Based on how they played, they were pretty good, and
Absolutely.
based on the sort of results that they have been getting, as in this was like an upturn for them. Even though they ended up losing the game, yeah, it was an upturn. So I know that even going forward, they're gonna think, but yeah, we played really well. If it weren't for a goalkeeper being brilliant on the day, we could have scored 3 goals, right, and won the
Absolutely.
game comfortably, right? So that is the positive in terms of that Leeds are supposed to take away from the game. As it pertains to Leicester, they were just really lucky, right? They were lucky. And the luck was they just had that charm in goal, right? So that was lucky charms going on in terms of the sort of saves that Schmeichel was making, right? Because some of the saves, he really didn't know anything about it, right? But he was just there in the right place at the right time. And sometimes you need that. When things not going your way, you just need some luck, right? And that was just a lucky win for them.
Yeah, man, and that's what now. Back-to-back wins for the first time in a long while for Leicester.
Back to
Yep.
back
The
clean sheets too.
facts. That is
Yep.
something that you can't call their name with because remember last time out, the thing that they have been susceptible with this season never worked against them because remember that corners has been an Achilles heel for them and set pieces over and they played against Burnley, therefore they kept a clean sheet. And they played against Leeds again. You could say yeah they're decent early and they also kept a clean sheet. So good going from them. But get some of these comments. Is Jermaine saying that Casper Michael father Peter was in the stands. So
Yep.
it was his additional boost on it for him.
He
Yeah.
was up in there in the stands.
But you know
Well,
that
next game.
Michael has had some days like that over his career ever since they have won the Premier League. Yeah, he has always come up in terms of he always have some games and you're like, oh my word, like this man can really keep. But it's a matter of being consistent. So I guess that's why no real top team has really gone in for him.
Yeah. I hear Michelle saying that football can be so cruel sometimes. Leeds deserve something from that match.
All
That's
right,
right.
Michelle. You could have just say you're quoting Kims. You could have simply say let me quote Kims. And joke, man.
But
Teams have a mind of our own, you know.
Joke, man.
since,
Trouble Michelle, man.
since as we just mentioned Michelle, what better way than to start talking about her game that they played against Burnley? No, this is where I want to beat Burnley from now till tomorrow. I mean, Dwight McNeil, I understand that you're out of sorts now. You haven't scored in 38 games, but you'll never get an easier chance than this to score a goal. And even Weghorst and quite a few other guys got opportunities and they
Yeah.
boosted in that first half. And from I saw they missed that amount of opportunities in the first half, I said that hey, Chelsea is going to whop them up in that second half. And so said so done. Chelsea beat them up. Shakes. Look at this one. What to say about it?
Um, it's a funny game, right? Because as you rightfully said, Burnley they were in it in the first half. Chelsea they weren't really doing anything out of this world against that team. James had actually hoped for a tough game. That's what he had predicted, that it would really be a tough game for the Chelsea team. It turned out to be comfortable in the end. However, when you talk about that chance, when you don't take your chances or a chance, a very pivotal chance in a game, things just not. You're just gonna say, "Oh, it's just not your day." When you really look back on it, right? And that chance that you talk about, yeah, that was it. Because besides the first half, it was all Chelsea second half, right? As in, I guess the team thought that they got at halftime, they came out with a different mentality, right? Where they were really all over Burnley. Some good goals, a good individual goal in terms of by Reece James, um, not Pulisic,
Havertz.
Havertz, yeah, with a brilliant header. One of them he didn't really know about in terms of with the finish, right in front of the goal mouth. And yeah, the last goal was just a little comical error, you know. But otherwise, when you play teams like that, if if the game is not flowing the right way for you and you go in at halftime, if you are a top team and you're playing a team like Burnley that's all the way down in the table, then you come out and stamp your quality, right? And that is what happened in the game. So yeah, you can say Burnley they were in it, but at the end of the day, football is played over 90 minutes, right?
Facts.
So yeah. So Chelsea on the day they were just better because they upped their level of play for that second half and they got their 4 goals comfortably. But otherwise from that I don't really have anything else to say about the game.
I hear Jason saying that Daesh sound like a perfect championship manager name. Gordon Clarence. All right, so argue. I know that you want to say something in regards to Burnley, but from a Chelsea perspective, how different they look with the addition of Reece James back in that lineup. Remember that we keep on talking about since him and Chilwell gone down, Chelsea hasn't looked the same, and the difference that he made in that side, it was so obvious in that game on Saturday. What do you have to say about that?
Well, for me, again, you know, I need more elite competition to judge against. I mean, yeah, he played well. He was impactful, but how much can I really take from a game against Burnley? Not really that much. Let me see a game against one of the big top guns, and then we can assess how important he is to the team. Obviously, he's a fantastic footballer, but it's not nothing to write home about right now. Um, for the game itself, we have always said that you can't go to the bank and you don't cash a check, all right? And Burnley definitely did not cash their check in the first half, and they had a lot of opportunities to cash it. This time, that time, that time, and I think the second half now, I think Chelsea just all right. Let us stop. Let us turn it up a notch. Let us go to that other level. And I guess that is probably the difference between Chelsea and Manchester United. Because if you remember, when Burnley in the second half, Burnley came out and equalized with Manchester United, and for the God of me, Manchester United couldn't get to that other level. But Chelsea just said, "All right, we're gonna stop playing some games right now." And after they scored the first one, Burnley just went out of sorts because
Yeah.
now they have to change how they play football. Now it's no more sitting back and waiting on the counter and none
That
of
is
that kind of
it.
stuff. No, you have to go out there and go get a goal because obviously you need a point or three in the game, and then they start making a bunch of mistakes, and even my defender there, Tarkowski, they man don't make mistake like that, but that's how you go when the pressure reach you, and obviously Burnley is fighting relegation, but again, if it's one team that know how to fight it, it's that team. So I think their schedule coming up, I think it's going to be a little bit challenging, but for this game, Chelsea was just shakes. Chelsea was a better team on the day. I just think Chelsea is a better team overall. And when it was time to stamp their class, but I just have something to say, and I hope Michelle can answer me or one of them persons. How is it that you're playing Burnley and the $100 million striker just have to
Defender.
sit and our defender depends on which team he's playing.
Going
The
forward.
$100 million man, how is he on the bench? How is he on how him can come on and touch the field? Not even because I'm thinking, okay, Chelsea leading 3-0. I'm thinking, all right, now one change, Mr. Ref. Bring in look at help him confidence a little bit. And I'm sure, okay, Champions League coming up or so, whatever. But I'm just thinking, give him at least a little 10 minutes or so. Make him run up and down a little bit. Because now Burnley, obviously, they're in all kind of discombobulation and so. So, I'm thinking probably Tuchel has given up on this man and say, boy, yeah, I made a mistake and, we can't win with this man. So they just go in with Havertz.
It's
All right.
obvious first choice.
Shoot, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that because Kems was really asking a question, but he then answered it himself. But
May I ask Michelle, but we don't share around me. So that's it.
yeah, but yeah, as in it's obvious that the way Tuchel wants to play, Lukaku does not fit in the team, right? And if you want to make a deep run, so yeah, we all know the EPL is out for them, right? But they want to make a deep run in terms of in the FA Cup and in the Champions League especially, right? And they know that come the big game, he ain't gonna start. So I can understand him not necessarily playing. Even when they are comfortably ahead, he's gonna put on other players that he knows is ahead of him in the pecking order, right? So it's just simple. The way they play the football, just not going to suit Lukaku. So it don't make sense. The coach up his confidence, and as Emerald is saying, they're not gonna pass to him. So his confidence might be up, or his confidence might be up in terms of but he's just running up and down on the field and not coming to him, right? So he just doesn't suit their system.
And as you just mentioned, Shakes, Emerald said that if the midfielders won't pass the ball to Lukaku, he won't get any ball. I realized they kind of blacklist him on the field.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Damn, that's just the thing that for the $100 million man. I remember it was said that Manchester United mash up Lukaku, Manchester United kill Lukaku career. But it look like it's the EPL kill him career because it look like him can't perform in the EPL at all. Like him have to go back to the Italian league.
Listen, those Chelsea fullbacks can actually cross the ball in. They actually know how to cross the ball. So if they know how to cross the ball and he's not getting no crosses whatsoever, it just means that they're not playing to his strength. So he just does not fit into the system. But it's not that they lack ability to cross the football, right? But it doesn't matter which competition they're in. He's just not going to be first choice.
All right, and I'm currently seeing 20 viewers. Come on, people, get the viewership up and ensure that you like the video because I'm sure that 20 of you hasn't liked the video yet. So ensure that you drop a like on the video. So do the right thing and get in some more people. Get in a boyfriend, a girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your side man, one man, one chamber. Get in all of them. Let them watch the video. And for the gentlemen who said that their female not interested in sports, you need to convert that female to love sports. Come on, fellas. But
she not love sports. Get her to love the sports, boss.
Yeah, man, tell man like Owen Green that Owen Green and female don't like sports. So Owen Green, I need to do the right thing. But we're just going to go over to a team and a man that is celebrating right now. 4-piece without any sort of fries. They gave to Southampton, and I mean that 4-piece could have easily been 12. Coutinho missed a whole lot of chances. Oli Watkins also missed a clear one as well. I mean, Kems, you were happy on Saturday seeing your team performance, man, especially that first half.
Absolutely. I told you guys that I wasn't worried about this game, especially because Southampton played midweek. And, even though they won against West Ham 3-1 in the FA Cup, I'm saying that, hey, a lot of their players played. James Ward-Prowse, all of those players, they played in that game. Broja came on, and I'm saying, hey, Aston Villa haven't played since all the way last week, Saturday. So now I believe they are fully rested. And I believe from that win that they got from Brighton, that bring back some confidence in the team. And I say Steven Gerrard now, like he's having a consistent, I think he knows his 11 now. So he has his consistent 11. Obviously, he has a way where a style that he wants to play. Obviously, Lucas didn't play the left back. So it was Ashley Young. But Ashley Young fitted in seamlessly. And listen, Southampton have been playing some really good football, and for Aston Villa to put on the masterclass that they put on, as Levon said, it could have been 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Aston Villa was just absolutely dominant in that game, and I know Coutinho had 1 goal, 1 assist, but I think the man was a machine in that game. Just continue taking on players, and trust me, he's not going to have the best game every single time, but I think he was absolutely sensational in this game. I remember it was someone had called out. I think it was Ryan or somebody who had called out Ollie Watkins, and I told him to watch them out. And since they talk about Ollie Watkins,
Yep.
him scored.
No, man, it's not Ryan, man. Is the man that goes missing when his team doesn't perform.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shirley.
But yeah, I
Like,
remember that because I was in the comment
Yeah,
section.
yeah. And I say, hey, watch him out. He's going to show up. And so said, so done. Danny Ings. I've said that. He's going to get a goal because it's against his former team. And I don't know why these players don't want to celebrate when them score, brother. Like, why are you taking away the joy from yourself? Celebrate, save me, but he didn't celebrate, but he scored. And, he has been a consistent workhorse for that team. One thing I
what did
must
he do?
applaud.
Scored twice an assisted one, right?
No, he scored once. He
Scored
scored
once.
once. Yeah, he scored 1 goal. It was Ali Watkins, Coutinho, um, Ings, and one name there, Douglas Luiz.
Oh yeah, so he scored one
Yeah,
and assisted two. Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
had it. So two he assisted.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let me tell you. So then, what I really love about Steven Gerrard, and a lot of persons not going to like this, but it has been reported that they're looking to sell the Jamaican, the $25 million guy that just came in. They're looking to sell him, offload him. Obviously, I think that's the best decision for Aston Villa. Why? There is absolutely no space for the man in the team right now. There's no space for him in the team. The way how they want to play, and I tell you, work rate is a big thing for Steven Gerrard. They can't come in a Steven Gerrard side and want like you want to play pretty Jamaican football, don't run back and all of them things. Them things they're gonna get you for caught the nail in the bench. So, want to ship him out to Aston Villa, probably can send him down, probably to Derby County or one of those teams where he can probably try and start there. So, with Ravel Morrison and so, and try and build a Jamaican connection down there. But Aston Villa is serious about business. And if you look, you left by Leverkusen. No, I don't think they miss a beat. Actually, I think they're playing better offensively right now. You guys can tell me. So, Steven Gerrard is a no nonsense man. If you show that you deserve to be on the pitch, you will be on the pitch. If you show that you want to party with Usain Bolt and have fun, he'll offload you so you can go there and have fun.
Brother, you're well in the man weird on a derby, you know? Shake.
Listen, I agreed with every single thing that Kem said, except the Derby County part. But
I
he
agree.
is 100% right. And yeah, I know that Bailey is young, but he needs to get his act together, right?
Absolutely.
He's not young anymore. That man about 24 or 25, you're a big man in the football now.
Well, he hasn't reached his prime, right? So
No man,
I'm
look at
really
Shake.
talking about.
The same thing we criticize the player that wears the number 10 for that club over in Manchester.
Yeah.
We have to hold Leon Bailey at the same level in terms of that
Yeah,
because
but you
both
see
of them
why?
are the same
No,
age.
the only thing I would add is that he has not been in the EPL long, right?
That is where I agree with you.
So I'm looking on it from that perspective. That is why when Kems mentioned about Bayer Leverkusen, as I said, I agree with him. But he just said, "Oh, but Bayer don't even miss a beat with him. Would they even take him back right now? Right? Are they better off without him? Right?" And sometimes you see when we take a look back, uh, that is why I'm saying he needs to actually check himself, right? Because you were on a trajectory, right, where you could actually reach a particular point. However, it's like his career has stalled, right? And you don't want to be also you got into the EPL and injuries.
Yeah, I was about to say that, that he has gotten injury prone all of a sudden since he
Yeah,
has come over. So he needs to work on that, fam.
yeah, and we have seen that for some players in the EPL over the years, young players brilliant, and then they reach to 23, 24 injuries, right, and it just derailed their career. I don't necessarily want that for Leon Bailey, right? I'm not going to drop him as far as Derby County, as
And
Kems is
Bolton.
saying, or Bolton. But as I said, he needs to screw his head onto his body, right? And
Facts.
get his act together fast. Especially because Aston Villa ain't gonna throw it Steven Gerrard for this
Mhm.
season or even next season, right? It's highly likely that he's going to be there for the next 1 to 2 seasons at
Yeah,
least,
man. 2024.
right?
Top cut
Exactly,
24. So,
right?
yeah.
So it therefore means that you ain't gonna get somebody new coming in. So it's either you're going to like the style and adapt to the style, or you're going to sulk. As Ken say, you're going count your fingernail limp on the bench. You're
Mhm.
going to beat your bump on the bench, whatever you want to do on the bench, but you're going to just be on the bench. So if you don't show the desire, the hunger, the commitment, the determination, the grit, you ain't going nowhere. And
Yep.
going nowhere ain't good because when you don't go anywhere at Aston Villa, where are you going to end up other than the championship? Because
Facts.
if you don't play for a year or 2 years, who is going to go in for him? Another German team? But another German team that might come in is a side that's actually lesser than Bayer Leverkusen, right?
Facts.
And that would be a backward step. So as I said, he needs to get his act together.
Yep.
Here's Jason saying that Leon Bailey was better than Sancho. Yeah, man, Jason. Remember that Robbie Rich and Sherwin. Yeah, man, Sherwin. Don't think me forget it either.
He was
Those
even
are
better than Sterling at one point. Don't leave out that.
man, the man them call the man
Them say
handsome
the man
and all
better
these
than
things.
Sterling, brother. Like
Yep.
that. Like I mean, listen. I know how Jamaicans are but Sterling is a. But I guess Sterling a play for Jamaica, so. But Jamaicans they tend to overhype their own. But I found it very difficult how a guy who is so good when he's playing for Jamaica, he's so bad. Like if you look at Antonio, obviously he's a different level, but still when Antonio playing for Jamaica, the work rate is there, the
He
goals
has
is there. I think,
desire.
yeah, like his but Leon Bale is like, and again, I noticed I haven't heard the Mona coach, come out and making
Why?
any claims or saying
He's
anything
no longer
about
the
him
money coach.
or in step down.
Yeah, based on what had happened.
Oh yeah, the former Mona coach. I noticed, normally, when they try to hold Jamaica at ransom for him, he was all talk. But right now, counting the nails in the bench. Again, I think the aspirations of Aston Villa, getting Steven Gerrard, spending the money that they had spent so far and that they'll continue to spend in the summer, I just think this is not the club for him. Probably, fun and joke aside now, I think probably he can go down to the championship, honestly. Probably one of those teams
I said
because
Norwich.
probably hey, Norwich yo team, so they'll come back next season. Watford,
Bro,
but
bro, bro. The man
Yeah,
will get
a
that.
team like a
Come on.
team like Norwich, a team like Fulham,
yeah,
Watford.
Bobby Reed connection. Like you
Yeah,
have to look at the
Watford.
relationships, Levon. All right, Levon, which team in the EPL you think right now would take on Liam Bailey with everything what you know about him? Lack of work
Aston
rate,
Villa.
lack of running back. Huh?
Aston Villa.
Well, offload the man. What's that?
Bro, I'm being honest. As Fabi Fran is saying right here, I don't think Bailey is a quitter. I believe he will come back stronger and do well. Coutinho can get injured, or Ramsey, or even Ings. He will get his chance. I think he'll get his chance, and I think
The,
he will
the,
come good. I
the
just
thing
personally.
is, all right. So the thing is with that Fabi Fernand is that obviously he has Steven Gerrard put him on in 2 games, and I think the man has been underwhelming. I think he served better not playing those 2 games than playing those 2 games because at least when you don't play, in the manager's mind, he's saying, "Yeah, man, you can play." But
Yeah.
when he actually put you out on the field and you play garbage, manager say, "No, this guy is not in my plans for what I want to do going forward." Yes, Ings and them people they can get injured, but what you need to understand, Levon, coming in the summer, Gerard already says he's going to spend a lot of money to buff up the squad in the summer. So the summer, I want to offload some people, to get in some people, and I think Leon Bailey will be one of the first ones on the bus.
Yes, final following up his comment and say, "Man, stop on the madness."
It's not
Aston
business,
Villa
you know,
is
because it's
the
not
club
far
for
fetched
him to
that.
continue develop. Kems, you are in no place to talk about the man. No man will switch club like you can talk about it. So
Yeah,
I'll
but guess
leave.
what? Leon Bailey can actually end up in that show, you know, turn into a Kings where he's just moving from club to club,
All right, there
right?
you go.
In a very short time. So that's why
All
I'm saying
right.
it's not far fetched. Because as I said, if Steven Gerrard go and sit down with that management team, right, the owners, and say, okay, all right, so we want to bring in X type players. Um, Aston Villa don't have to be loyal to Leon Bailey because he's not been there for long, right? You have to factor that in. Not only
All
that,
right.
he has not played in the EPL before going to Aston Villa. So they don't know what he can do, you know. Everything that they would be looking forward to is based on potential
Yep.
and what
All
he
right.
did back over in Germany. But you can't do that if you're injured, and you cannot do that if you're on the bench.
All
And
right.
you also cannot just
Mhm.
hope that other players get injured.
Yeah. Like what kind of ball are you to hold? Oh, well, if this person get injured, then I'll get my
Exactly.
chance. You're not good enough then.
Yeah,
Listen.
somebody actually somebody actually
Put
wrote
pressure
that
on
again.
the squad. That's something that he must do. Put pressure, make
Yeah.
Gerard have
Put
no choice but to say, yo, Ings, you have to
Exactly.
hold them in 6 weeks
You must
because
be
this
doing
man
you
perform
must
better
be
than
doing
Wednesday
in
in
training
training
that
match.
you're like, oh, but the coach will want to put you on. Even if he does not start you, you get a 30 minutes, you get a 25 minutes, you come
Yeah,
on
man, put
impact,
me
you
earlier,
get
not 10 minutes thing.
score some goals, and then all of a sudden you're in the starting lineup.
Yep. Just like
But
that.
I'm not killing that. I personally think that he'll come good.
No, we're not. Well,
Eventually.
I'm not killing him, you know. Kem's already bury him and team, right?
The thing is, let me tell you something, Levon. Let me tell you something about what I know, and I don't know what level Fabi Frano coach. But let me tell you about what I know about coaching, probably in different sports. When somebody is a talent, you know a talent. You don't need to wait a year to see that talent they develop. You know what you have in the particular individual. So I believe Gerard assess Leon Bailey and say, hey, I know what Bailey is and what Bailey isn't. But I have three other players here who are ahead of Bailey and who is better. And I'm paying this, and this man is a $25 million hit. Probably we can get rid of him and then get somebody who is probably the same, but who is probably more productive. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
All right, yes, Michelle saying. I think Michelle comment is kind of a little bit harsh, but she's
Yeah, that
saying
one
that
is
so
hard.
wait there. The club must damn its ambitions to develop Bailey. The club aiming for top 6 next season. Bailey can't help them with that. I think the last part of his statement is kind of harsh though.
What do you mean? Bailey can't help them with that. Absolutely agree. Absolutely
It's
agree,
harsh,
Michelle.
You see,
Big talk,
Levon,
Michelle.
it's hard to argue against it. Why?
It's
Because he
hard
has
to.
not shown anything to stand, right? You don't have no supporting evidence to say, oh, okay, yeah, what Michelle is saying is wrong, what Kims is saying is wrong. All we have to do is just hope that he actually comes good. That's all we can do as a Jamaican.
All right, and here's Sheldon Campbell saying that Bailey will eventually show up. You just have to take his chance when him get it. And here's Fabra saying again that when Gerard gets a full season and Bailey gets a proper preseason, this man didn't even get a proper season. Okay.
Like,
All right, consider.
listen,
Leave it alone, Kim. Leave it alone.
listen. Honestly, when we have to make so much excuses for a player that are sure say the player not good, Bridging. Like, I understand. Like, Coutinho coming at the side, the man fit in seamlessly. Lucas Digne, whatever I want name, the man not play football in about 2 months. The man come in, the man fit in right away. I'm tired for we make oh, all right, him need a preseason. Next when him get a preseason, him need some more time. He need some more game time. Even when Sancho wasn't playing as much, when Sancho came onto the field, we knew Sancho had talent. We knew he just needed some more game time. Leon Bailey, I don't know what he want. I think he need a new club. He needs to be the focal point of the club, and then probably at that time you can get the best production out of him. But
Rough.
right now he's down the picking order for Aston Villa right now. Honestly.
No, I'm rough, man. I lie. But what? 24 people on the stream right now. Come on, man. Get it over the 30 mark. Long time we don't reach here. We don't want a 20s. Get it up there. So as I said, get all of your people them and let them tune in to whatever device they have, let them tune in. And even you yourself, if you have a 2-3 device, log in on all 2 or 3 device and ensure say yeah, they're viewing it all at once. But the next game that we're going to look at is Norwich against Brentford. We came here, Shakes. I would tell Kems that Brentford is going to kick Norwich ass. Kems says that it's going to be a 1-all draw. I mean, at first he was probably feeling a little bit nice, when Rasicka get that opportunity that he blazed over the bar. But then Brentford just grew into the game and Brentford did what they had to. And guess what? Ivan Toney scored an hat-trick. Could have been more. And I mean, if you look at how this game actually transpired, a lot of opportunities were there for both teams. And I think Norwich had like 2 goals disallowed and Brentford had 1 disallowed. But Shakes, now you look at this game and Brentford got the W that they needed. Pushed them further up the table. Norwich is right where they belong. And as I said today, I think the bottom 3, those are the 3 that will go right back down the championship as it is right now. So what do you have to say about this game, Shakes?
Oh boy. Well, let me just add this. I came on in the preview and said, guess what? If you are having poor form, there's no better team to play right now than Norwich, right? Winless streak, you need upturn in your fortune. So this is the team to play. Also, beat them comfortably. That was what they did at the end of the day, right? Norwich, yeah, you might talk about the one little chance that them get, yeah. Um, yeah, they kind of did some small huffing and puffing, but guess what? Brentford, they were excellent on the day. But that's what you do when you play the worst team in the EPL, right?
Fact.
You play your best football when you play the worst. That's what's supposed to happen in life.
Don't be a Man United will get them and beat them 1-0.
Exactly. When you get the worst team, beat them, like beat them, right? Get your confidence up. So I love that. I love that. Tony came back in this game and got an excellent hat trick, right? So your forward going get back his confidence automatically, right? It don't even matter the fact that he was playing Norwich. Just that feel for goal and seeing the ball in the back of the net 3 times, right? Especially because he got 2 penalties, right? And how he takes penalties, you have to have a lot of guts and determination to kick a penalty like that, right? Off just 1 step. And they were excellent finishes. Um, Outside of that, it was just decent team play from Brentford. But I'm not going to be, oh yeah, they played fantastic football, because at the end of the day, it's Norwich. But as I said, you play the worst team, go out and beat them. And that's exactly what they did. Norwich were a little bit unfortunate, unlucky throughout the game, right? Even with the offside and pokey, stuff like that, right? But he scored a decent goal at the end. But as I said, Brentford, they can now, I said they would get the 3 points and then they would get 1 and then 1 more. I think they're on what, 28 now or 27? Is it 27 that they're on?
I think it's 27. Yeah.
27, yes. So, and especially because of other results that went in their favor, they can be in that dressing room and be like, oh yeah, we can survive and play another season in the EPL.
Yep. And Kems, there's a question from Jason to the panelists and even some of the guys. He's asking that do the panelists or viewers think Ericsson should be given sympathy when he plays? Referencing is coming together with Brandon Williams. I can answer that. No.
Mhm.
Nope.
No.
Well, I won't say that, right? Because I told you guys from the Ericsson was announced. I said, hey, when he's playing and people, obviously the emotion of the game, but when they realize who they are tackling, when they realize who they're going at, the human side of it, just gonna make them ease up. Because Brandon Williams ready for jerk up, boy, you know. When him see Ericsson, then him hug him up and say, because you understand what's going on, and you don't want to be the person will probably hit him too hard and
Make the man hard
anything can
stop.
happen.
Them
You,
and
you,
conscience.
you, you don't want to be the person. So, those things always are going to
Yeah.
play on your mind. Should he receive sympathy? Probably not. I mean, shit, everybody's trying to win the game. right? So
That is what I'm saying, Kim, that the players
yeah,
shouldn't do it like that
yeah,
because guess what? We are trying to
hmm
win the game, and especially
abs-
a team like Norwich with the situation that they're in.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. But again, he shouldn't, but he always will.
Yeah, he's gonna
Until
get
he
he's
retire from
gonna get that.
football, until he retires from football, always, because
He has
people,
to get that in a
hey,
lemon because this is
First,
literally
personal opinion. Do you guys think it should happen?
no,
We know that the players are going to do it, but we want your
no,
personal opinion
no,
on it.
no. But it will happen
mhm,
because you know that this man literally came back from the dead.
literally.
Yeah, he literally came back from the dead. So it's just like if you were in your workplace and you see somebody drop down, them heart stop. Okay, yeah, resuscitation. You don't even know if the person is still alive. Okay, the
Mhm.
person is now back from the dead. You're always gonna be mindful of that person. Anything that is happening around the person, you're always gonna be cautious. Right? That's just human nature. So even though we say no, that should not happen, you see, when you're in this space as the colleague or even the opponent, but as I said, it's still football at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
So it's still your colleague, it's still your work colleague, even though you play for different teams. You are still going to be sentimental when it comes on to him because it has to do with death and the fact that he died and was resurrected.
Yep. Now, I'm going to talk about the real United, the United that has been performing. I came here and said that Eddie Howe, very good coach. I will talk about a man that has improved players. We have to mention this man name because I heard Trippier and I heard a lot of other players came out and they said that Steve Bruce, when he was at Newcastle, the amount of day off them getting a normal. Since Eddie Howe has come in, this man has changed everything completely. And when you look at it, the first 20 games, I believe, of the season, Newcastle only picked up 12 points. The last 6 games, they have picked up 16 points, and they are 8 games unbeaten. When I put things into proper perspective, I keep on saying it. Joe Linton, this man was a $40 million forward. Eddie Howe came in, I said, here what? People call you a flop and whatnot, but I'm going to put you in this position. And guess what? You see, from that man started playing central midfield, he has won the most tackles in Premier League. He has won the most tackles, and the thing with Newcastle right now, you see Newcastle playing with a swagger. You don't normally associate this with Newcastle. And even though, if we're being
Mhm.
honest, Brighton did outplay them, as expected, because Brighton is a ball playing team. But what I'm getting at is that Chris Wood might not have scored, and he hasn't scored for them as yet, but he was good in that game. If you look at the first goal, it was his hold up play, then he released Jacob Murphy, and then Murphy took the shot, never went in. Ryan Fraser followed up, bam, goal. Look at Ryan Fraser. This man was out of football for a year because of whatever reasons at Bournemouth. Came to Newcastle, coaches came in, never really used him, and even when they used him, this player looked like total garbage. Ever since Eddie Howe took over Newcastle, Ryan Fraser looked like a reborn player. And if you look at Eddie Howe, this is the thing with him. This guy is not over reliant on one person. St. Max was there, and this man kept St. Max on the bench. They brought in Bruno Guimaraes in January, and a lot of people thought that he would have been starting already. Man said he's going to take his time. When it's the time to unearth him, he'll get his chance. So when we look at Newcastle, they have been brilliant, and they're up to 14th, I believe, in the table with 28 points. And if I'm being honest, Newcastle really need 7 points to survive the rest of this season. They are going to get it. And this is what we're going to talk about now because I'm going to start with Kims on this one.
Mhm. You said St.
People,
Max was on the bench?
he was on the bench. But what
Wow.
I'm going to say is that we always talk about coaches coming in and improving teams. And some people say that some coaches take longer and what have you not. But Eddie Howe came in, he saw what the problem was, he understood the assignment, and bro, I hear the fans keep on calling him the gaffer now. They said that this man will be their Sir Alex Ferguson. So what you have to say about it all?
So I'm not a big Eddie Howe fan, right? And I know you are, I know Demo is. When he got relegated with Bournemouth, I was laughing. because I was like, you guys overrate him too much. But he deserves a whole lot of credit. As you said, when he came in, you realized, man, this team is trash. And we always saying, let's give him until the transfer window to see who he brings in and who he implements. One of the biggest changes that he made when he came to Newcastle, though, is putting that man in central midfield. Didn't have a particularly good game against Brighton, but trust me, he's had many great games. And when he said, okay, he's going to put Shelby in the midfield, I think that changed a lot for Newcastle. But I think what Eddie Howe did, he stayed with the course. I think players, especially when they're in a little relegation battle, I think they look on their manager. They look on their manager. They see how their manager is reacting. Has the manager given up on us? What kind of body language? What kind of body language is the manager sending? And every time I watch an interview with Eddie Howe, he keeps on saying, "Hey, we keep it very simple. We hold each other accountable, and we keep the character of the team." And every single player, when they go out there on the pitch for Newcastle, it look like they're fighting for the manager. No player looks like they want to disappoint the manager. Everybody look like, hey, if somebody, when you make a substitution like, the 89th minute, you just a kind of waste time. When
Yep.
Newcastle are making those subs, the players are running, happy to get on the pitch. They just want to go out there, make an impact for the manager. And I think that really speaks volumes. And I really hope he stays up. And then in the summer, with all that money that they have now, let's see how he implements it, and what he does. But what he's doing is really remarkable for Newcastle. But I can't believe the best player for. I could never imagine Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime on the bench, Messi in his prime on the bench. Those are the persons I hear this setbacks guy return from injury. Don't get too excited. Well, in the fighting relegation, boss, if you are the best player we want you on the pitch, ASAP. But yeah, great job by Newcastle. Great job by Eddie Howe.
All right. Shakes, what you have to say about it? Because I know that you're a fella that kind of like Eddie Howe too. So what do you have to say?
Yeah, definitely. As I was saying, from the preview show, that guess what? You're playing against Brighton. Their form isn't decent. You have had positive results, so they had one win prior to Eddie Howe coming in. They now have 6 wins, right? Um, so yeah, on Friday they had 4 wins, 4 additional wins since he had come in, and I had said that guess what? You just come in, continue the momentum that you have currently going, right? And even though yeah, Brighton had more possession and all, um, Newcastle scored against the run of play, but guess what? It's football. Football is all about momentum. Sometimes when things are
Facts.
going for you, you just have to continue allowing things to go for you. So you touch on Joe Linton. So Steve Bruce could not because he's a dinosaur, right? And clearly they are extinct. So Steve Bruce needed to be extinct, right? He could not realize that, oh, but if a man ain't scoring after you buy him for 40 million, it's simple. Maybe you need to not play the man as a striker. But guess what? When you're not necessarily a decent enough coach, you're not going to see that. Eddie Howe has come in and changed the mentality of the team. That is a very important point to know. The
Facts.
mentality of the team. So Newcastle are no longer a team that just let's wait until the 89th minute or 85th minute to try score a goal. All we're going to do is just try soak up pressure. No, right? So even though Brighton is a team that will always outplay you in terms of the pretty football that they play, listen, they know that they have the weapons on the field, and it's obvious that the style of play that he has implemented at Newcastle, they believe in it, right? And once you get players believing in the system that you have implemented at the club, you're always going to have positive results. So yes, you might not necessarily beat the big teams in the EPL, but guess what? Staying in the EPL is not necessarily about beating the big teams. It's about beating the teams that are in and around you, right?
Facts.
And Newcastle,
And
they
the thing
have
else is the bonus.
exactly, right? Newcastle have done that of late, where okay, Eddie Howe has come in. He's like, all right, guys, Well, you know, like these clubs that are ahead of you, they don't necessarily have they don't have players that are necessarily better than you guys, right? So he has changed the mentality. So at the end of the day, you're just seeing positive results, right? And yeah, Kems might harp on St. Max and all them things, but guess what? Listen, it's ideal when when your team is not over reliant on one player,
Definitely.
right? So if you can get people like Joe Willock giving you a good game today, and Joe Linton giving you one tomorrow, right? And Fraser and Jacob Murphy and John Joel Shelby, right? Chris Wood up to now he has not scored, right? However, he has played decent in terms of his hold up play, his link up play, right? So it's just a system, you know. It's just a system. Remember, Chris Wood is moving from a very I can't remember the word right now, right? But Burnley, the type of sterile football that they play. Sterile is not really the word, right? But yeah, oh Lord, it's an A word, right? But anyway, yes, they play. Yes, they play with a lot of attrition, right? They ain't going nowhere. Burnley.
Mm.
So he has moved from that system to a more fluid system at Newcastle in terms of how Eddie Howe plays, right? And it's simple. He has never ever been a man to score no bag of goals, right? However, he has adapted his game to the team, right? To
Facts.
bring about the
Shit,
best
guess what?
result.
I don't want. Well, I'm actually cutting you, but um, I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because at Burnley, this man was just used to playing as a target man, and that was hit.
Yeah.
At Newcastle, you see Chris was dropping deep, laying off passes, holding up the play better than he did at Burnley. So what you're saying is facts, bro. Like
Yeah,
continue
yeah.
on because you're making valid
And yeah,
points.
I'm just saying that listen, sometimes it's just down to the coach, and that is why I will always be for young coaches, right? That's just always gonna be me. Even when I'm
Oh,
140, yes, I am going to, and in my grave, I'm still going to be raving about give young coaches a
Facts.
chance, right? Just give them a chance. Let them fail, right? But you can't know unless you give them a chance.
Yep.
all right. So this comment by Adlam, absolutely. This man Dan Burns.
Sunburn,
This
yeah.
That's
Dan Burn
man.
has been superb.
Yep.
When you talk about a defender, we're rough and tough, and we give it everything we have.
Dan
Dan
Burn.
Burns at you. Well,
But
listen,
didn't he
you
come
know,
from
and we have
Burnley
to,
too?
huh?
Where did he come from
Brighton.
again? Brighton. Oh
Brighton.
yeah, Brighton,
Brighton.
Brighton.
But remember that is a former Newcastle man
As
still there. He came through the
Yeah, yeah,
academy
yeah,
and
yeah.
then he left the pastors new, but they brought him back home.
But you know that at
you see the
Brighton,
Something.
many
thing.
people were saying that he doesn't even look like a real footballer.
You see the thing, Levon. We spoke about it. We spoke about it in different levels of sports, and I've often said, where you go matter. The
Yep.
culture in the team matters. The coach matters. So if I am looking to go to a team now, for example, and I'm looking and I say, boy, Watford. I'm looking. You have Roy Hodgson. I'm saying there is
No.
there's and I am a striker looking to get 20-25 goals. I know, hey, that's probably not the destination for me. But then I
Fact.
look around and I see, and I go and I see, what name there in Brighton. And I see in Brighton and I say,
Graham
well,
Potter.
this man, this man plays some really attacking football. I know I'll get more chances, more opportunities here. So, sometimes when we see some players failing, and I know the average fan like to look at, oh yeah, player, you're not good, you're not good, you're not good. But I think sometimes we have to go a little bit deeper. Look at the culture of the team. Look at the
Yeah.
coach. What is the philosophy of the coach? What is he known for? See, man like Steve Bruce and all them people there.
Bro,
You're
you're
not getting
making
no bag of
some
product.
valid point. And let's back up your argument. When you look at a player like Joao Felix, and that man know that Diego Simeone play one football that is defensive, like luster, like a basic football. And you as a man that loves flair football is going to go there. What do you think I got him to you?
Yep.
Yep.
They're right.
Brilliant point, Kims. Brilliant point, man. And here's Adlam saying that team and City fully behind Eddie Howe. Stadium bouncing. Remember that they were reluctant about Eddie Howe at the beginning. They never wanted him, but it is from that man has changed everything at that club. Everybody is shouting that man name, man.
Level, like it's still, I said the same thing about Rafa Benitez, People can hate you, But you see, once you start win, the whole place love you.
No man,
And the
no man.
thing,
It's not just about win with the fans, because I read through their pages and they're talking about the style of play and the culture that is now at the club. It's not about them winning.
well, look what Newcastle is used to. The boring. Imagine as a fan, you're spending, even as those fans who have season tickets, because we think we love football. You see, those people in England, them breed football. So them have them season tickets now, and every day them come, them have one. If them get a goal, them celebrate that. That full them belly. So seeing a guy now, playing, creating a lot of chances. The football is easy on the eyes. You feel you love go to football match now because say even if your team lose, you know there's going to be a fight, there's going to be a spectacle, and that there's probably chances for a lot of goals. But all of them other managers, as Sheikh say, I am all for young managers in all level of sports. Those old people for go be consultant or something like that. Don't coach alone.
Advisors.
Yeah, man, go mentor the youngsters. That's what they're supposed to do. Mentor these young coaches.
Yeah.
What I'll also say is that you can tell when a club is up to good. You see that female Amanda that is in charge of Newcastle running. You can see that she's into the football, and these are people that you can say, yes, this club means business and they're going somewhere. So, bro, I'm happy for Newcastle, no lie, but I need those BBC pundits, those Sky Sports pundits, and all those guys to watch Sports Frenzzyy, because on this show we talk about Dan Burn that they're raving over right now. We talk about what's the sad that they're raving about. We talk about Henry Ramsdale that they're raving about. This is the place for you, man. We realize things before you do. We're not the hungry to. But next game, things that I just mentioned, sir. And I'm sure that Kems is probably licking his chop once again. Kim said that from Demo selected Max Kilman in his side, Kilman has been nothing but absolute garbage. But Chicks, shoot, Palace finally get a 2-0 victory over them and they scored 2 over Wolves at Wolves. That's surprising.
Yeah, that was a very shocking victory at the end of the day for Crystal Palace. They played well on the day, mind you. They played well, right? They played.
Wolves never did nothing.
They played excellent. Let me state that. They played excellent. Based on how they've been of late, they played excellent. Wolves was literally non-existent in the game. Crystal Palace, they were just all over Wolves. Wolves just never showed up on the day. I don't know what I thought they would have got a rebound in terms of in this match and be like, oh yeah, so we're playing Crystal Palace. Let's go for the win. Let's try to see if we can sneak our way closer to the top 4. But guess what? They just never turned up on the day. And yeah, sometimes you get that. In terms of, yes, you'll have a decent run and then a 1-2 fixture don't go your way, and all of a sudden you end up in a little rut, right? So maybe Wolves are ending up in a little rut and then they'll overcome that. But as I said, Crystal Palace, they were excellent on the day. Good play by the front men of Crystal Palace. Jeffrey Schlupp, who I just don't rate as a footballer, was pretty decent in the game. Elise was also good. Yeah. He is a quality youngster. Zaha, he took his goal. Decent. Mateta, yeah. But as I said, overall, it was an excellent day for Crystal Palace. They were the team that came to play. Wolves just never showed up.
Came shoot.
So I think Wolves was going on to Wolves was going on too good at a point in time. So I think these losses that they have experienced, kind of get them back down to earth, and you realize, okay, you're Wolves, right? You'll be just around 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9, just around there. So it was actually really surprising. But what I want to talk about, I remember when we had the show before a ball was kicked. A lot of persons, I don't know if I was included, but a lot of persons that came on the show say Patrick Vieira will be the first coach to be sacked. You can go
Yeah,
back
man.
and look on the video.
I was
That was
the
a
first
consensus.
person who said it.
That was a consensus.
Yeah, it was like he's going to be the first coach
But,
because we see this man at this other place and he's just not
but
a good coach,
but
right?
what you should remember that we came back and we said that from he got that international break, you can see a complete change in
Yeah,
Crystal Palace.
yeah, because we had
Yep.
admitted that the sort of results that he has got, we just never expected it,
So,
and yeah,
so I wrote down some stuff. I wrote down some stuff that, this Patrick Vieira that I saw online, and they said that he signed obviously Conor Gallagher, Michael Olise, who we're going to talk about a whole lot, and the guy named
McGuee.
what his name Gui,
not good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
brilliant.
and
Oh,
also
brilliant.
he's and they're the first team to win and keep a clean sheet against Manchester City this season. So I think that's a big accomplishment. And obviously, he's now a win away from being in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. So I think obviously from the start of the season to what he has done now, and obviously, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be the highs and lows. But I think how he has Crystal Palace playing right now. Again, and you can say him take over from another quote unquote all foot. I take over from another all foot, kick the all foot up, and come
Godfather,
in.
that man.
Huh?
Godfather, grandfather, great grandfather, great grandfather.
Absolutely. So, really happy with what Crystal Palace is going on with. I'm okay with Wolves losing now. But when they come on, when they play Everton and those teams, those are the times I want Wolves to come and show out. So they can lose to the Crystal Palace and surrender, no problem. But show out when it matters.
All right. Michelle, I think we addressed your question because Kems actually asked it. So yeah, I said it and I believe Sheikh said it as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
most of us, at the start of the season,
yeah,
didn't really expect anything of Crystal Palace.
facts. But next up,
Michelle, I'm sure you never experience. I'm sure you never expect nothing from Vera either. So you come and talk. Yeah, go ahead, boss.
all right, so Liverpool getting a 1-0 victory over West Ham, get them in the title running. But Trent once again, assist maker, and boy, if this guy continues the way he's going, I know that people talk about Danny Alves over and over and over, but if this guy consistently gets over 10 assists per season in the Premier League, let's say he maintains that until he's about 30, because he's what, 22 now, I believe, 22, 23 thereabouts. Shakes, you for one, would you factor this guy in as arguably the greatest right back in history?
Greatest?
Yeah.
No, but you can't defend.
Hmm.
Simple answer.
Okay.
No, because you can't defend. All
Because
right.
you can't
What say
defend.
you?
So guess what? He wouldn't work well in every era of football because he can't defend.
Understandable.
However, those who can actually defend, I could get you to attack some more. You actually had a lot of them, especially the Brazilians, who were pretty good at attacking. But guess what? They never needed to do that much. You know why? Because the Brazilians, the players that they played with, scored a ton load of goals. Right?
Shakes, Shakes, I disagree. I think this error thing that, and they do it in basketball and they do it a whole bunch of sports. Brother, from you're a great football player, you will survive in any era. You will survive, and I think if Trent was in the 1960s, I think he would survive. Listen,
But that
he's
wasn't
in.
the question. That wasn't the question that
No,
Levan
but
asked.
no, but you brought that up. You brought up
No,
that
no, no,
point.
no, no, no. I was answering his direct question.
No, but you said something about error, didn't you?
Yes, I said that
Yeah,
you have
but
others
shake, shake,
who
shake. So
are
remember that you use
better.
it as a measuring stick against him, doing it because you said that you wouldn't factor him as the greatest because he
Yeah, yeah,
cannot
but you asked a
defend.
specific question if he would be the greatest, and I said no. And my red flag for him, the X that would come up against him would be his
Mhm.
defensive
No,
abilities.
no,
That does
Shakes,
not.
but
No, but
Hold
shake,
on,
shake.
hold
Why
no.
on.
should remember no shake?
That
Why
does
should
not
remember doing that?
mean that he
Listen,
is
shake.
not up there overall in terms of right backs, in terms of
No,
throughout the annals of football. But
no.
Levon asks about the greatest.
All
My
right,
answer is no.
all right. Listen, Shakes. Listen again. Um, when you talk about trends, and I think Demo spoke about it at nauseam when he comes on the show. Listen, what he's asked to do in Liverpool side is attack and put in the crosses and be a part of the offense, right? I believe if Trent was in another team, let's say he was in a no no, let's say he was in a Chelsea and they wanted Trent to do more defensive duties, I think he'll be capable of doing defensive duties. Like we'll come on here and we'll talk about Trent, oh him can't defend, him can't defend.
But he
Better that his
can't.
defensive stuff
No,
is actually good.
no, yeah, like no, but Levon will come on here and we'll say him can't like I've never watched Trent and say, boy, this brother is horrible at defending. Like I've never watched that. Obviously, he's probably not in the elite category like everybody else, but as a right back, what he offers on the offensive end, he doesn't need to be elite defensively either. He just needs to be stable enough to can hold his own on the defensive end, and I think he's capable of that. But on the offensive end, of course, he's elite. So I think when you mix those two together, I would definitely put him in the conversation. You can put up Trent against every single right back that has played football, and it's not that easy to say. If you pick Danny Alves, then you pick Danny Alves. But it's not easy to say, oh, we would disqualify Trent because he can't defend. I think that argument is absolutely ludicrous. That is just me. I think
And
it's crazy.
Adlam, we can't have a calling segment, bro. I don't think you're tuned to the show, but my laptop has been crashed, so I have to be using my phone right now. So hopefully soon, laptop will be started out and we can have calling segments once again, but can't do it right now because I'm sure that you wanted to take on Shakes. But Shakes, what I'll say to you, right? Because I know that you rate the elites of the elites, and when I'm talking about Danny Alves, Philip Lahm, and those sort of guys, right? In terms of right backs.
Yeah, Cafu.
Because Adlam is saying it to you that you should put up who you have as elite so you can
Yeah,
see what you have.
and that's why I was saying that by you ask a specific question, right? Your specific question, would I rate Trent as the greatest right back? My answer was no. I didn't say the man no good.
I can
James
understand your argument still
James
because
is
at
the
the end of
one.
the day,
James is the
first give a
one that
personal
I,
choice.
I'm saying that I'm saying that Trent no good enough. But I didn't say that. I was just answering the direct question, right? Because that was the question posed. So if I had to pick somebody in my all-time team, I would never consider Trent. You know why? Because I believe that Danny Alves is ahead of him. I believe that Philip Lam is ahead of him. I believe that Cafu is ahead of him. That's just me in terms of the football that I've watched, right? And
Hold
and
on. So you
maybe
think
and maybe
Cafu
other
hold,
persons.
hold on the shakes, hold on the shakes. So you think Cafu is a better right back than Trent. Why again? Because Cafu can defend?
Cafu could actually defend and he could actually attack.
All right, so let me just ask you a question. Do you think Cafu attack is close to Trent's attack?
You heard what
No,
I said.
I'm just asking a
Elon, you
question,
heard what I said
Evans.
when I said it. Cafu was pretty good offensively. However, because he played for the Brazilian team, that's what I said. When you play for those teams, you don't necessarily have to be all the way up the field one.
But
But
You
that's the
shit,
don't
this
same
have
is
to
this
be
is
argument for
where
all
Liv-
the way
I
that's the
up
come
same
for your
argument for
not
argument.
Liverpool
easy.
though.
No,
Yes,
no,
hold on, shakes,
no.
hold on,
Hold on,
hold on.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Simply put, nobody in the Liverpool setup will ever go down as any top footballer, as in any top 10 or top 20 footballer of all time. Cafu played with top 20 footballers and top 10 footballers of all time.
But
Therefore, you had
shakes, you
better
follow the
players
shit.
throughout the
This is
entire team. Forward
shit.
line, attacking line, midfield. Come on. It's Brazil.
But
It's
shit,
Brazil we're
listen,
talking
don't know
about.
shit. You where you're going after because I'm going to use your own argument. You said that based on how the Brazilian players attacking, right? Their attacking line, Cafu wasn't required to do much attacking. No, I can build a point, and this is what Liverpool fans have said. I know that Dino has said it. Based on what is required of Trent, he's not required to do much defending in Liverpool system. So you won't see that defensive standout from him. And when he's called upon, if you ask me, the guy has done quite well.
Yeah,
He
like
has
this
done.
is like
And
like,
I
like this is
don't
the
and
thing.
I don't disagree with that, Levon. But you're not asking me if he's doing well or he has done well enough. You ask me if is he the greatest. The answer is no.
The thing is, Levon. Again, as I've said before, like Makia, like again, and Trent is not my favorite, but you know, after watching the man and actually, as I say, when people talk about a player, I make sure I go and I key in on what they're doing. But I'm looking at Trent, and I'm like, all right. So just like how we say, Wan Bissaka is a we have Wan Bissaka as a big defender, right? We would say
Who?
he's
Who?
a lot of persons when they were comparing. I don't know if it was you, Shakes, but when they were comparing Wan Bissaka
Hey,
and
don't do that. Don't call my name with
Oh,
one Bissaka.
hold
let's
on.
focus on the matter that Anna. Come on, Kim. Finish your
Yeah,
point.
yeah. So when they were comparing Wan-Bissaka and Trent, you know, this was the same argument they were using. Trent is better offensively, but Wan-Bissaka is better defensively. However, when I'm looking at both players play, I can call out a lot of defensive errors that Wan-Bissaka make on a daily, on a weekly basis. But when I'm looking at Trent, like I can't look and say, oh well, hey, them score on Liverpool because a Trent. Oh, Trent is so bad at defending. We continuously try to harp on Trent being bad at defending, but there's no glaring thing to show that he's bad. He just attacks more because that is what's required for him in the Liverpool
Yes.
system.
Facts.
That's
All
all
right,
it is.
be more Adlam. Could you guys provide me with how much seasons Trent has gone so far with over 10 plus assists? I wonder if it's three or is it three? Just tell me in the comment section. But Shakes, what you should factor in, remember that I said it in it. Let's say this guy goes to 30 years old, right? 13,
Mm-hmm.
and he's 23 now, I believe. So say he has gone 3 seasons already and he has over 30 assists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the remainder of the next 7 years, he clocks over 10 assists in the Premier League once again. So let's
He's still will be better than Cafu or Dani Alves. It's simple. It's simple in a Lebanon. It's simple. Football has changed. The dynamics of football has changed, right? So you have more analytics to football. You have better recovery time. You have more science. You have better technology at the end of the day. But if I put Trent back in time, I don't believe he's going to be as effective as he is today,
I
right?
disagree.
It's simply, you know. But
I disagree though.
if I take the very best players that used to play back in the day, I know that they would do extremely well today. But it's not a must that okay, a man like Trent, if I put him in certain teams back in the day, uh, he's not necessarily going to have the same output because
All right, producer.
football was different back then.
I'm going to get the producer in. So producer, Shake is making a claim because I presented the argument to him, right? That if Trent ends his career, right now he has gone 3 seasons back to back with over 10 plus assists in the Premier League. So let's say he goes to age 30 and he does it straight until 30. Would he have him in the greatest conversation ever?
All right,
Shake
all
says
right.
no because Danny Alves, Cafu would be ahead of him, and Shake's draft Hira said that probably Trent wouldn't be as effective back then. Where's the producer?
He would be in the greatest conversation of all time.
So do you think he would be effective in the era that has gone before?
He would.
It'll be effective.
I
Like,
think he would do as well.
boss, I see people come forward and let me just switch a little bit. When I see people, this like, error argument is the most stupid argument I've ever heard because people always come, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo couldn't play football in a Maradona era. Garbage. Messi couldn't play in a garbage. Once you are a great player, you will adapt to any single era and you will play the type of football in whatever era it is.
And
It's
just
so
think
simple as
about
that.
this. Just think about this, Kems. 2018-2019 season, 15 assists in the Premier League. 2019-2020, 15 assists once again. And so far this season with around 12 or 13 game remaining, He is 16 in the Premier League.
So let me ask you this, Levon. You think if Danny Alves was playing for Jurgen Klopp right now, you not think the way Danny Alves played football, you not think he would literally have like 30 assists per season?
No,
Absolutely,
bro. Come
absolutely
on,
not.
bro. That's
Absolutely
30.
not.
No, but
30
that's
assists
obviously
what?
the greatest team, club team.
Come on,
Huh?
shakes. Danny Alves played for Pep, right? Arguably,
No.
Pep.
arguably the greatest team to ever play football, Barcelona in
Or
that era
Pep.
with Pep.
All
And he
right.
was required in that system to
So hold
attack
on.
as well.
So hold on. So you believe that Danny Alves' style of football was down to Pep? You guys clearly never saw him at Sevilla. All right.
What do you mean by never saw him
I
as
say
a
what they were
Shakes?
playing
What
in
I'm
system.
saying,
It
Shakes,
was a
is
much
that
better
he
team.
played in a system that he squared the ball a
And
lot,
Danny
just the
Alves
same.
and Danny Alves did the same thing for Sevilla when Sevilla they were winning the Europa Cup, right? As the UEFA Cup back then. Yeah, I'm not even gonna watch UEFA Cup back then, right? But yes, he did the same thing, right? Which is why
Alright,
Barcelona
and
went
this is
for
why
him
I'm
to
all right. This the
complement
Adlam says right here is fact as well.
him.
Just like we bring in that argument, Shakes. Adlam is saying that if Trent was playing with Messi, Neymar, and Suarez, he would have 30 assists per season as
Yes,
well.
and I'm not going to disagree with that. However, your question is and still is uh do I rate him as the greatest? My answer is no, because I believe that guess what? That Danny Alves and Cafu can give you the same output and better that Trent is doing. However, they are better defenders. That's what I said.
I hear you. I hear you, Shakes, but I'm a Manchester United fan. However, if Trent keep on producing things like these until he's 30, I have no choice but to give that man as the greatest right back in history. And I tell you this, I love Philip Lahm. Philip Lahm is one of my favorite footballer, but man, which
You do
player in
You
know,
see,
history ever could do these
you
things?
do know
But
that you do know that the argument that you guys brought up would be a same argument that that you guys kill Raheem Sterling about
kill him in terms of
in terms of what he does. However, Raheem Sterling and even Kim's other day was pointing out, oh, Raheem Sterling, like people don't big him up. And I agreed, right? Because of his productivity. Yeah, besides the big game, them why the foolishness in. However, he has been consistent in the EPL, right?
I
So
think it's two different arguments though,
no, no,
Shakes.
no,
Come
no.
on.
So he would
Shakes,
hold on. No, no,
totally
no.
different
So he
argument.
would have to be up there in terms of as a winger all time then, because that's the
Shakes,
team that he's
Shakes,
playing in.
Shakes,
Same
come
thing like
on.
Trent. But at the
Shakes,
end
come
of the
on. You
day,
can't
how,
use
how
that,
do
that
you
Raheem
rate?
Sterling
How do
comparison to
you
Trent.
rate
Come
Raheem
on, bro.
Sterling Lebron in terms of all-time wingers? You're not even gonna consider Raheem Sterling, even though he has been productive for seasons after season.
Okay, Shakes, and no problem. You know why? Listen, right backs are dime a dozen. Wingers, you get wingers over and over and over and over
Um,
and over.
no, no, sir, no,
Consistent good.
sir, no, sir. Right back play the same way wingers play.
Not all. You
Yes.
yourself just said it. You
Hold on,
yourself
hold on, hold on,
admitted
hold
it.
on. Every single team have right back. Every single team have wingers. And even if you want to say every team might change to a right wing back, is the same way. Or not every
Shakes,
team will
come
necessarily
on,
play
Shakes.
with
You're
a
dropping the
right
level,
back.
Shakes. Every team have a right back, every team have a right wing back, but how much of them good? That is what I'm saying. We have
yeah,
seen
that is
consistently wingers take over the
And
like
Levon,
elite,
I'm not
elite right
elite level we're
arguing.
backs.
talking
I'm
about.
not arguing that Trent is not good. Okay, all right, fine. Since you guys can't open your minds, okay, I give Danny Alves and Cafu. I give Danny Alves 10. I give Cafu 9. Trent would be 8. Happy? That would be my rating for them. But it don't matter what Trent do from now until God come. He cannot be the greatest right back for me, and that's just me.
Okay,
However, it does not,
and
it
that's
does
why I'm
not
going to take the
mean
convo here because you're going to hold on to your
it
belief
does not
and
mean that
we're
he's
going to
not
see.
an 8 out of 10
You
or an
see,
8.5 out of
so
10
this
right
is
back.
so Shakes, but I know we're gonna move on right now, but Shakes, again, when you reason like that, I think you take away from your credibility. Because you cannot say there is no way you say no matter what Trent do. So that means if Trent turn a monster defender and him still a
But I know that he cannot turn a monster defender.
how you know that?
Because but it's evident. We all watch football and we know that he does not possess the skills to become a monster defender.
Alright, boss, no problem.
Which is
Next
why he
game,
doesn't start
General.
for England.
Alright, boss.
All
And
right,
even
what I'll say, my final view on this topic is that Jurgen Klopp has done very well with Trent, and if Steven Gerrard take over, Trent will just keep on getting better and better because there's this particular guy at Rangers. His name is James Tavernier. That man has over 30 plus goal contributions in a season under Gerrard, I mean. So if that guy can do it, and Trent is way ahead of him, so let us see. But we discussed so much about Trent that we also forget about the game. So we'll just skip to the next game. And Watford, they got beaten 3-2 by
Hold on. Before you switch to the next game, right? I definitely thought West Ham deserved something out of that game. Man, West Ham got so. Oh, and West Ham, I know it's one game, but they look better without that man who say he believe he's an elite player. They look much better without Rice. They got some chances. Antonio, Fornals, and I think they got more clear-cut chance. I don't know if you watched that game in its entirety, but they got way more clear-cut chances than Liverpool. And I think obviously it's similar like a Burnley situation. You don't get you go to the bank and you don't catch a check, then you end up with 0 points. But I thought that West Ham could have easily won that game. It could have been a 3-1, 3-2. But again, when you are a championship side, you find a way to win it. And I think that's what Liverpool did. So, good for them.
All right, so Arsenal got a 3-2 victory over Watford. Good goal by Cucho Hernandez. I mean, all three of Arsenal goals were well worked, well taken, and Arsenal have no step foot into the top four, and all of a sudden, their fans have become noisy. Some fans that I haven't seen in months posting about Arsenal, they have done so. Some fans that I haven't seen in years post about Arsenal, they are now doing so. So, Shakes, now you look at this one, and you said that Arsenal would have beaten Watford. You call it.
Yeah.
Kems and I were kind of decided that we want Watford to shock them, but it wasn't to be. Logic would say that Arsenal would have won, but we just wanted Arsenal to lose.
Don't go with your heart, go with your head.
Yeah,
right?
man, I thought that they would have won, but I just wanted them to lose.
I know, because you guys wanted to be closer to them based on who your team.
You guys are you guys. You two on. Are you switch? Are you jump ship? You jump the ship?
Well, I remain with my team. Remember, Lebanon is Newcastle, and you are Aston Villa.
Oh, okay.
But I'm still saying you guys, right?
Okay. Yes,
because my heart still supposed to still be red, right?
Yeah, my heart's still red, man, fully.
All right, yeah. But yeah, as in Arsenal, I would say it was never in doubt, right? They had complete control of the game. Yeah, the scoreline might tell a different tale, but they completely outclassed Watford. And once again, it's another dinosaur, the godfather, grandfather, great grandfather that is there coaching Watford right now. So yeah, some bug team might make Watford look good, but guess what? When you play teams that are down there in the EPL, beat them, right? And that's what Arsenal did. They completely controlled the game. Yes, Watford got back a early goal. But guess what? Odegaard was excellent on the day. Saka, I know who was it? Oh, Ryan had Saka in his team. He was excellent on the day, linking up, right? He was brilliant. Martinelli with a very good goal. Lacazette should have scored. Huh?
I said that Martinelli goal was a screecher, man.
Yeah, man, that was a peach. Lacazette should have scored, right? Nketiah came on, had one shot, hit the post, yes, right? But they were in complete control of the game. So even though the score said 3-2 at the end of the day, they totally dominated the game. Had good possession of the football, created decent chances, right? Watford, they just need to go championship. Call it. Yes, just answer the Lord and just say bye-bye, EPL, and welcome to the championship.
Facts. Kems, you have anything to say?
About
Watford
Yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah, the team Watford.
Okay. Now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about an actual team, run rings around some shadows and water sprinklers because not talk about cone no more now. Water sprinklers these are. And we're talking about Man City. I mean, if I start now, I won't stop. So Grealish, very good. Bernardo Silva, very good. KDB, very good. Riyad Mahrez, very good. Phil Foden, run rings, man. And when I see a man like Foden can push off that $50 million right back off a ball, you know that, hey, this team was enjoying it. And now we're talking about what was supposed to be a derby that was one-sided, and one team came to play football, while the next one was just there to just jog after shadows all day long. Any one of you want to take it on?
let me
Sure.
go for let
You
me go
can just
quickly.
take in a
Let me
minute.
go quickly. Hold on the shakes. Let me go quickly so you can talk about your side.
Tell
You have
your
the whole
team.
yeah, that's why I just
Tell
want
your
to get
team.
let
So
me get
you
it out
can
of the
talk
way.
from, no man, you can talk from a neutral perspective. Because it's not your team.
No, but you're gonna talk long shakes.
No,
You know
you know.
what?
No, you know.
Alright.
Because
Alright,
me not
well
talk,
knows.
me not like talk about bum team.
Alright.
Shoot to the chat.
One thing. Trouble me, trouble you.
No, I was just saying, really quickly. I remember I picked Kevin De Bruyne in my side, and a man tell me say, Yuri Tillemans. Them I pick Yuri Tillemans over. I just want an apology from both you guys. Honestly, I need an
Absolutely
apology.
not.
You
So
know,
today,
you know,
hold
Ken,
on.
I
So
knew you
today,
were gonna come on the show and say that.
Hold on, shit. Let him finish it. Let him finish it.
so today, you're going to tell me that you would pick Yuri Tillemans over Kevin De Bruyne right now today.
Right now, I'll tell you that I'll pick
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne over Yuri Tillemans.
Oh.
But when we were doing the draft, what I've seen of Yuri Tillemans versus Kevin De Bruyne at that point in time, I would have to go with Yuri.
Quality are quality, brother. It's
It's
always
just
going to
like
be quality are quality.
Dima mentioned. It's just like Dima mentioned in the comment section when he picked Max Skillman was in form. Since then, he has gone off the boy, but that doesn't take away
Yeah,
from
but
him being in form.
what I'm saying, even at that point in time, I tell you, no coach in the world will pick Yuri Tillemans over KDB. None
I
whatsoever.
I did. I'm a coach and
What are
picked
you
him and
rating
taking a
about,
chance.
But
Ken? What are
but
you
but
rating
let,
about?
but let me talk about the game quickly. All right, so Mr. Press Conference, right? He came out with sometimes it's so smart till you fool, right? So him come out with a system the way I see Pogba up there. Only can probably break it down for me a little bit better. I mean, I have no sense, so only can break it down. But I see Pogba up there, I see Bruno up there, and so right. However, we already know this was going to be a L. But when he took off Pogba and put on Rashford and Lingard, the quality got worse. You know, and I know Pogba didn't have the influence on the game that obviously we wanted. I think Bruno was poor as well, but for some reason, I don't know. We spoke about Rashford and so, but I think something is wrong with Rashford, and I think when when we're trying to get back into a game and we are bringing a man like Jesse Lingard, like you guys, no, in a serious thing, as a Manchester United fan, when you see number 14 go up and Lingard is running on to try and save the game for you again in a derby for Manchester United versus Man City, I think it's absolutely when you see Mahrez, you see Bernardo Silva, you see
Who picked
KDB,
Mahrez again?
you see Phil Foden, you see all these quality, and it's Jesse Lingard. They go for I think definitely this summer. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think everybody needs to. I think you probably only can keep 6, 7 players around there and try and build around that. But for that game, in the last 15 minutes, it was 92% Man City, 8% Manchester United, and Man City was leading. I would have said United leading and City are trying to get back into the game so they have all the possession. Now listen, the Lindelof and Maguire partnership, it can't work. You can't have two cone around there. You have to have somebody who is actually very stable, and then the next person who not so good. And I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to offload that $80 million. But I think Manchester United right now, They don't look like a top four team. They don't look like a top four team at all. And it looked like I remember when Manchester City gave them the 2-0 when Ole was in charge. It was resemblance of that game. It was like City was just tying with Manchester United, and it just don't look good. I'm not a fan anymore, but I still have interest in them
Bro,
to do
you
well.
are still a fan.
Right,
You watch
Shakes.
every Manchester United game. But
Watch
Shakes,
every game.
what I'll say is that personally, I don't think any of the defenders are good enough. None of them. And I think Manchester United should just click a reset button and follow suit as to what Mikel Arteta is trying to probably do at Arsenal. That he offloaded a lot of the players with their high wages, and I know that a lot of Man United fans won't appreciate me saying this, but personally, I don't want them to make top four. Why? Them not making top four, a lot of these players will leave. A lot of these players don't want to go play in a Europa League, no Conference League. So a lot of them that contract is running out this summer will want to leave. So I personally wouldn't want them to make top four. Might sound away, but that's just it. But as the people talk about Varane, and even Jason himself talk about Varane a lot. What has Varane done this season to say that Varane would have made a difference yesterday? Varane hasn't been over the moon good for United either. So what the hell are you guys talking about? I told you guys on the beginning that when they were going after him, it was a waste of a buy because Varane cannot stay fit anymore. If that man could stay fit, Real Madrid wouldn't let him go. They
All right.
wouldn't. So I don't know what you guys feel all head and shoulders and heels over this guy, but he's just not it either. I don't think Manchester United players are good. 99.9% of them are not good enough. And yesterday showed that 0.1% of them don't care. Because look at that second half performance. So personally for me, I just want them to click a reset button and just get
No, it's
rid of
not
everybody.
0.01 don't care. You mean
Shakes.
99.9% don't care.
Shakes,
No
let me
man,
ask
no
you a
man.
question, Shakes.
99.9 don't good man.
Let me ask
Shoot,
you a
shoot.
question, Shakes. So let me just ask you a quick question, Shakes. And I want you, if you can start with that before you go into your analysis. But there is no Martial, there's no Cavani, there's no CR7. Why is it that in a game like this, Marcus Rashford couldn't get the start? I heard that he has a good relationship with Mr. Press Conference, but he's now worried about his game time. Can you expound on that for me and for the viewers as well?
You're talking about Rashford, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you realize that you have hit the wall, as I came on the show some weeks ago and said that Marcus Rashford has no more up to go in his career. I remember Demo was like, "What are you talking about?" Okay, cool. All right. And then I was like, when last has he given me 45 minutes of total football? Okay. Somebody counted and said, well, he scored against West Ham. Okay, fine. All right. But that was just like a last minute winner. That's it. What has he done? I did say that, guess what? Rashford has done more for charity, right? And it's clear that his mind is all about charity because that's what he has done for the longest time, right? He has not focused on football. If you actually stop and think about it, from Ole was there, his mind has not really been on football, so he has been on a downward spiral from even before this season, right? So if you're on a downward spiral and you realize that, oh well, clearly this coach might not necessarily have favorites, he might not have certain sentimental attachment like what Ole had or what certain previous managers might have, right? You are somebody that was a mainstay at the club. You were basically starting week in, week out. Rashford was probably one of the first names on every team sheet, for a while when you really think about it. I know many people used to argue about, oh, Rashford starting all the game, Martial coming off the bench. And a lot of people used to say, but why is that so? Yet still, when you really look at the difference in terms of the number of goals, number of assists that they have, like there's nothing between them, right? And one used to get all this praise, and even from the English press, he used to get a lot of praise. But guess what? it was really because of his charitable work. But what has he really done on the football pitch? I can literally just go back and just count over the last 2 3 years that he has had some good games. There. Let me say this: Mason Greenwood was ahead of Marcus Rashford over the past year, and if
But
that youngster could come in and be ahead of you in the pecking order, it must mean that something has gone wrong. And that is why I was saying that, guess what? I just don't see where his career is going to go. So, in terms of, because his contract is running out, because you asked that specific question, his contract is running out. Remember, they don't
excellent.
know which manager is going to come in. They just know that Ralph is going to be there and in the consultancy role. And it's clear that they know that Ralph is going to be making some of the key decisions. So if they can find a way out, they are going to look for a way out. But guess what? People only look for a way out when they don't have the necessary qualities to increase the production. And I don't believe that Marcus Rashford is in the mental state. Something is clearly wrong with him mentally because as I said, he can't even beat a man. You can't come on as a sub and can't beat the midfielder. Not even the right back, the midfielder. Right? So yeah, he's gonna look a way out. And guess what? Yeah, go on with your links to Real Madrid, Barcelona, because guess what? If not Barcelona don't have top baller. So it's easy to get into the Barcelona team. So somebody
But
like,
actually, Shakes, that is PSG that said that wants him.
yeah, I saw that rumor
The PSG
also.
want him as Mbappe's
Yeah,
replacement.
for Mbappe, yes, right? But I don't think PSG will go. Listen, it's not every rumor you're going to necessarily believe because if
No man, remember that genuinely wanted him last year. No, they did.
yeah, but guess what? You see, after watching him play all of that football for this year, I don't think they're gonna be quick
I
to
disagree. I
start him.
disagree. I'll tell you why. PSG took a punt on Sergio Ramos, and Sergio Ramos hasn't played kick a ball for them,
Yeah, but
right?
he's but
Remember
he's
that. Remember that Rashford contract run out next year, so they'll get him on the cheap.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, well, you're playing in the Farmers League, so if you want him to come and score some goals against against some of the farmers and carpenters, then yeah, no problem,
as
right?
far as I'm concerned, those shits, and this is I'll say personally, as a Man United fan, anybody that wants to leave,
Yeah, man, out the
leave,
door, go, go, go.
leave, leave. Don't try to force anybody. And I saw an article earlier today, and they're saying that if United is serious about playing football, one, they should try and build their attack around Jadon Sancho and don't let a lot of these players that are there currently in Festiv's mindset. Two, they need to help Mason Greenwood through whatever he's going through and get back Greenwood in that team. So as I said, Man United need to do a reset. Get rid of a lot of these players. Remember that when Pep and Klopp came into Man City and Liverpool respectively, there were players that a lot of coaches would have kept. Look at Pep, for example. He got rid of Yaya Toure, big player. He got rid of Vincent Company at what 31, 32. A lot of teams would have kept Vincent Company.
Yeah,
He got rid of Billy Kalis, Gal Clichy, Pablo Zabaleta, Joe Hart, and all those people because guess what? He saw that they weren't according to his style of play. These players didn't fit into his system. You look at Klopp now. He came in and Coutinho was kind of whining here and there that he wanted to leave. What did Klopp do? Sanction his move. When he sanctioned his move, you know what happened next? Klopp used that money and purchased Van Dijk
the
and
team
Allison. And
in.
those are the two guys that propel Liverpool to the top. So I think that what Man United should does before they sign any player this summer, try getting that coach ASAP, let that coach get rid of everybody that he wants to get rid of, and you give him who he wants.
But it's
If
not
they
just
don't do that,
it's not just a coaching level on the coach
mhm.
and Ralph as consultant. You see, you mentioned those two coaches. It's not just the coach in terms
Yeah,
of
man, it's the
Pep.
overall thing.
It is the team they had around them in terms of Man City when they went for those two Barcelona guys, right? To come into the boardroom and be like, okay, we have a football plan. And if you
Yeah.
realize Barcelona, since those two fellas have left, gone to the dogs, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Man City just riding the wave year after year. Same thing with Liverpool. Liverpool used to be a laughing stock in terms of when Kenny Dalglish used to be there, when they used to be buying man like Stuart Downing, Andy Carroll, all them people, right? When Luis Suarez left, everybody was like, all right, well, they're not going nowhere. Sterling gone, Sturridge gone. But guess what? You got somebody that came in, had a plan. At Manchester United, there has never been a plan. Them just go around and splash the cash. And I've always said it.
All right. Oh wait, Adlam, you're asking that who is that coach? There's a perfect solution. Eric Ten Hag will work perfectly with Ralph. Will they follow up on it? That's a big question because it's a lot of census people over here. So yeah, that's the man that cares about football that would work good in tandem with Rangnick, as Shakes just mentioned. But
Yep.
as I said, nothing with this club surprised me, and we'll just move on.
Listen, the
The
biggest thing
final
for
word on
me,
the checks, you want to say anything else about it?
the biggest thing for me at the club is that you can have an appliance that belongs in a downtown shop or Riverton or just a fridge that is all lying on the street as your club captain. The man, the voice spoke about stability and having somebody stable at the back. You know that when you put a fridge in your house, it don't move. That's what Harry does. He cannot move. And you have that man as your club captain. Oh God. And you have that man giving speech saying, oh, we need to look into ourselves. But hold on. But
Shakes, me not gonna talk who make him club captain now because analysts are gonna probably feel away, but let's move on.
but yeah, listen, it's just ridiculous. And the faster they break it up is the better they'll get. You cannot keep doing the same foolishness over and over and end up thinking that you will get better results.
Facts. But from one team that is in a turmoil to a next team that is in turmoil and a team and another team that is a yo-yo team. This week they play good, next week they look like literal trash. Talking about Spurs, they whopped up Everton by 5 goals to nil, and I'm sure that Kems really want to take this one on because I see up further Michelle was asking Kems that how comes he loves young coaches yet he's not willing to give Frank Lampard a chance. Now, Kems, how do you respond to Michelle and what do you have to say about Everton situation?
Listen. So you can love young coaches, but if a young coach is not doing well, then we have to call a spade a spade. And right at this moment, Frank Lampard is the only coach that has come into the EPL and there is no new manager bounce. Just look at all the new managers that came into the EPL. Aston Villa had the new manager bounce. What the next team they name? A whole lot of teams have the
Newcastle
new
same way.
manager bounce.
Newcastle.
But obviously Newcastle, but Everton, they're the only team that have the no new manager bounce. All right, listen. So Conte against Everton, right? I think he played 6 games, he won 4, and he scored like 15 goals, right? I think that
Correct.
is the start for him. So I knew going into it that but I was like, you know what? All right, let me give Lampard a little chance because what Lampard doing now? Lampard tricked me against Manchester City, set up perfect, and I said no. I said Lampard find the recipe, man, and find something. But then come against Spurs and decide to go away from that philosophy and decide he's going for the win and end up get 5. But I have a bone to pick with Lampard, and Michelle, if you're in the comment section, I have a bone to pick with him.
She's there, man.
She's there? All right. He did not play Van de Beek. He did not play Calvert-Lewin. And he did not play Richarlison. How is it that you can have a team like that, Michelle? Ooh, you can have a team like that, Michelle, and you don't play those players. Yes? And then now, looking at it, all right? Looking at it now, Levan, when I'm looking at the Everton team, again, I say it always show a reflection of the manager. You get in because obviously it should have been a penalty against Man City. So now you're coming up against a Spurs side that is really struggling. They're hot and cold. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. So you look at it now, yes, okay. We're in 16th place. No, we're in 17th place. We need some points. Burnley is right below us. And you come out and you come out and you come out very flat. You come out very dry. You come out uninspired. You know who is supposed to be a rock solid around there? One name Keane. I've never seen a defender so mistake prone. The man worse than Maguire. Obviously, he doesn't cost the same, but he's really bad around there. He was the one who made the mistake in the game against Man City for the Phil Foden goal. And now he's the one who I think he made 2 mistakes in this game. And they're saying, hey, he can't play the next game. But I think Frank Lampard need to hold the players accountable, hold himself accountable, pick the team accordingly, and try to go out there and try to go out there and execute. They have Wolves next, which I'm sure that's a L. Then they have Newcastle, who already beat them 3-1, and then they have Manchester United. So those are the 3 teams that they have coming up. They have Manchester United at home, so probably they can get a point from that one. But for the Wolves and the Newcastle, I think Wolves want to get back on a winning streak. But for Frank Lampard, I'm not even try to beat him. A lot of persons try to compare him and Gerrard. Trust me, if Gerrard had this Everton team, even if they're not they will be more inspired. They'll be more ready to play. Everton, week in, week out, they're not ready to play. They're ready to, from Lampard took over, they're ready to play 2 games. The game against Leeds, where Leeds used the same 11 from the last time, and then the Man City game where they just sit back and defended and try to hit them on the counter. So, Michelle, what's your
I
say?
love the last part about needing a goalkeeper bad. Yeah, they desperately need a keeper.
Well, Michelle,
Sure, man.
no, Michelle, I think they need more than a goalkeeper. I think they need a new
Midfield.
2 new centre backs.
Overall, basically.
What the brother names? What name? Coleman. The brother about
Seamus
92
Coleman must
right.
go sit down now, brother.
Yeah, the brother about 92 right now. They need, and listen, Lampard get him like a transfer window and him go for team viewer Van de Beek and Dele Alli. That's showing me that Lampard probably, I don't know what the conversation was here. Just save us. But
But
honestly,
you know
today,
what though, Kent?
yeah,
You know what though? There's probably a problem looming for Everton,
what's
because
that?
even though their owner fired Mushiri, even though he's not from Ukraine, the company that he owns, along
Yeah.
with Usmanov that was at Arsenal, it's a Russian company, and they are the owners of Everton. So that's a problem that is coming towards Everton
Money
side.
that
But
might go
have
through
you heard any reports about it?
Yeah,
as they've
man.
been branded about in the papers, right?
It is.
Yeah, even for Usmanov.
Oh,
Because the
wow.
Mushiri first, I think they purchased Everton in 2016 and he had 49% shares. But January this year, that 49 flipped around and he now holds 94% of the club. So, that he's a major investor. So if he is, whatever happens, what he thinks
And
of
probably have to
Everton.
go. Yeah, and probably have to go. And probably
And
have to
they've
go sell
spent
it
a lot
on.
of money, Levon. They have spent a whole lot of money
Yeah, they
um,
did.
in the past 4 seasons. But you see, just like Manchester United, they have wasted the money. They have
Yep.
done poor recruiting, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
poor
And,
scouting too.
and that is what is coming back to haunt them. So even right now, their midfield is total madness, right? It's
Yep.
ex-players, quarter decent players, right? That would work well with better players around them, but you can't use that sum of the parts to even get one part because it still don't add up to one, right?
But
So that's
Shakes, I want
well,
to finish up on Everton because I want to ask you a question in regards to Tottenham, but continue.
yeah. So for me, as I said, Everton, they are in a relegation scrap. I've said that for the past 2 weeks that they are going to be in a relegation battle. Somebody on the panel had said, I think it might have been Kems, was saying that, oh, why Lampard never went to Norwich is because he knew that they would have got relegated. But guess what?
Ryan said, man. Ryan said.
Oh, it's Ryan? Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, Is the same thing going to happen with Everton now? Because when you run through the fixture list, Levon, you were like, oh, but where are they going to get the necessary victories? And that's why even for the
You know, Kim said it earlier today. You know, Kim said it earlier today that Lampard ran from Norwich that is getting relegated, and he might very well join them down there.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just reality because the other teams, especially on the weekend, got favorable results,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. The only good thing for Everton is that Burnley never won and Leeds never won. That's the
You know
only
what? You know what? Another good thing for Everton fans, if they get relegated, Lampard already has experience in the championship.
my word.
Yeah.
But Shakes, the question that I really want to ask you, when you look at a man like Harry Kane, he overtook Thierry Henry earlier on today, and he's now on what 176 goal in the Premier League, and I think he's sixth. He's like two behind Lampard. So is it Lampard? Yeah, I believe it's Lampard is next, so he can overtake Lampard next. And then I think there's Kun on 184, Andy Cole on 187,
And then
Rooney on 208, and Shearer on 260.
yeah.
Kane at 28 years old. If he stays in the Premier League, do you see him breaking that record?
Well, Kane for me don't have no ambition one, so he will remain in the Premier League. Because guess what? Where would he go? Real Madrid? Real Madrid don't want him. Barcelona? Barcelona don't want him. Barcelona probably can't even pay his wages, right? And they're building with youth. I don't think they're going to take any chance on somebody like Kane at his age, where they're going to go in for somebody that they can't sell back in the future, or they won't get many years from him. So I basically see him, and PSG obviously not going to take him. So I see him remaining in the Premier League in terms of, do I see him at Tottenham? Not necessarily, right? But as I said, for me, him just don't have ambition. Because a man that has been so consistent, right? He's a man that will score goals. His playmaking is excellent. His link up play is excellent. His hold
Brilliant
up
strike.
play, right? Plus, he is a two-footed striker. I was saying it that, listen, from CR7 left the EPL, there has been only one two-footed striker, and that is Hurricane, right? Nobody else can use
Yes, this man is good with his 2 foot, and this man is good
right.
with his head
He can literally score from outside the box with his
anywhere.
foot, right? And he can head the football. So he has pace. He actually has deceptive pace. Because you
Yep.
think that he's slow, and then all of a sudden he's just running away from you, and you cannot catch him, right? But for me, like, his ambition to go on, yeah, you might be a Spurs legend, but I think your talent is much better than what you've given us over the years, right?
But
And,
but but, but Shake,
me,
you can't say the man himself not have an ambition now, because remember that he wanted to move to City, you know. However, Daniel Levy we are talking about. Daniel Levy priced City out of the move.
yeah, but guess what? Sometimes you have to force your way out, right?
There's nothing you could have done about it. He
Um,
he, he
uh,
tried. He
um,
tried.
he didn't try hard enough because
Huh?
guess what? Hurricane, while he started this season, he wasn't doing anything on the football field.
Nope.
So it was like he wasn't playing football. They were basically playing with 10 men because he was neither assisting nor scoring. He was neither passing the football to anybody, right? So he was just having a down season, which is why very few. Kems was the one that put him in their team, right?
Mhm.
Right, but he wasn't even first pick. I think he was like the fourth pick for Kems,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you see, he wasn't high up there, but somebody like Hurricane at his age supposed to be at the top of your list, in terms of players in their prime, right? So for me, the man just lack ambition. Whether or not him go City, yeah, even if he want cakewalk the league, well, listen, for me, it would have been good for his career to go to a top team. Even Man City, yeah, they would have just cakewalk the Premier League, but guess what? you would be in the running to probably win the Champions League. You know how monumental that would be for your career?
Now Champions League alone, the man that win EPL and he hasn't won any, so of course
No,
I'm
no,
not giving
no, I
him.
know, but that's what I'm saying. They would cakewalk the EPL with him
Mm.
leading the line, right? But I'm
And it's
saying
okay, the Champions League as
what
well,
would
as
be
we mentioned. Yeah,
monumental for him now is okay getting over the hump in the Champions League. And
yeah,
if he goes, you know how much stripes that going to add to the shirt that
yeah,
he's
true,
wearing?
true,
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But going to leave the EPL right there and just quickly get the predictions for the two Champions League game tomorrow. So there'll be Bayern playing against Salzburg. Bayern is home. Bayern drew 1-0 with Leverkusen on the weekend, and they have not been playing good. Salzburg won what 3-1, I believe it was. League currently tied at 1-0. I know that away goals rule is out of the equation. So, James, I'm going to start with you. What prediction you have for this one?
So who? Bayern and
Bayern,
Salzburg.
Salzburg. Yeah.
Bayern have been playing some really crappy football. See them all draw the other day, 1-1 with some bug side. But I'm going to give Bayern. They're at home. Salzburg will concede some goal. I'm going to give Bayern a 3-1 victory.
All right. Shakes, what say you?
Boy, Salzburg for the upset.
Wow.
2-1. I remember when we were having a show and I was like, if you get Bayern early, you can beat them. That's what I said. Everybody disagreed, right? So guess what? Bayern ain't playing no football. None
That's true.
whatsoever. None whatsoever. For anybody that is watching Bayern, none whatsoever. The sort of form that they were in earlier in the season, they have had a lot of disruptions in their team in terms of
A lot.
injury. Yeah,
Whole lot.
and that is understandable from COVID related matters to other sporting related injuries. So it's
And then even Alfonso Davis, you know that he has a heart condition as well. So
exactly. So, so,
yeah,
so, so they have been inconsistent because they have not been able to consistently pick I like say 10 players, 9 players all the time. They're always interchanging, right? So their season has been up and down. So I believe that Salzburg can actually go in and sneak that 2-1 victory. Don't be surprised if it happens.
they said the young German to shut the next young German, eh?
Yeah.
Matthias Jasile. But
Yep.
I think Bayern will have enough to beat Salzburg. I think I'm probably going with a 3-1 victory for them as well. Next one, Liverpool at home against Inter Milan. Inter Milan had a very good win on the weekend. I mean, when I get bug team like Salernitana, that is what they do with them. They dump them up, and I think they gave them what, either 5 or 6.
Right.
Latour Martinez scored a hat trick. Edin Dzeko scored
Double.
twice, and I remember the CEO came out and said that they got $100 million for the defender, and they didn't really lose out because Dzeko has replaced those goals, and he was indeed correct because to me, over that league is kind of soft, so I don't really take it that much serious. But otherwise than that, Liverpool holding a 2-0 advantage. I said shit. Easy win for Liverpool.
I wouldn't say easy win, but Liverpool they will progress. Um, mm, I'm definitely going to give Inter a goal. They actually played well in the first leg, right? They actually played well. Liverpool, they are just the fitter team.
Hold on,
Um,
hold on, folks. You said Inter played well in that first leg. I was
it,
more a case of Liverpool being wasteful on that day.
I think Inter played well. Yeah, as in, yeah, they
I
played
disagree.
well. But you know why I said they played well? You see, based on how Inter has played throughout the Champions League. Remember the group that they were in, right? They haven't been great. They've just been average, right? Um,
Exactly.
as as Kim said, oh yeah, when you get team like Sheriff to beat, yeah, the honeymoon is over. You beat up them team. No Cinderella moment not gonna happen, right? So they weren't really in a great group, but they played decent, especially in the first half, and they were in the game. But as I said, Liverpool, they were just fitter on the day, slicker on the day, and yeah, they took their chances and came away with a 2-0 victory. However, Inter still got chances in the game where you could say, all right, yeah, they could have got a one goal. Yeah, when the second one went in, yeah, they were completely out of it. But I still believe, especially because there's no away goal rule thing anymore.
Mhm.
You just try go and score goals. Maybe that will work in Liverpool's favor on the day.
Yep.
But for me, as I said, I expect both teams to score. Why? Because Inter has to chase the game, and what better way for Liverpool to play than a team chasing them?
Okay. All right. Kems, what say you?
I'm going 3-1, 3-1 Liverpool. Inter no good, brother. Like Inter get Syria for win much in time and extend the lead much in time and a joke with things. One name there, um, Laturo. I think the
Yeah.
other day when him scoring on that 5-0, he never scored since December 2021. I think he's never
Yeah.
scored a home goal or something like them thing there are comical things, bro. So I think Liverpool is a better team. They already have a nice 2-0 um cushion, and as Sheikh say, you try to chase the game against a Liverpool or a Man City, you're going to find yourself in a whole bunch of problems. So I think it's going to be 3-1. I mean, I think Inter will probably score a little fluxy goal, but I think Liverpool will dominate the game, get Inter out so Inter can try and focus on the league. But it'll be a 3-1 victory.
Okay. Never intend for the show to go this long, but that Trent discussion took up a whole lot of the show. So I'm just going to go around and give you guys a 30 seconds each to talk about anything else outside of whatever we just discussed. So Shakes, I'm sorry with you.
Oh yeah, big up LBJ, LeBron James, dropping a nice 50 piece against GSW, right? The gunshot did not fire whatsoever. The Warriors were just slaves in that game, right? Slaves to the king, right? A brilliant performance. But it just goes to show how terrible the Lakers are. If a bro can score 50 odd points and you actually struggle to win the game, right? But LeBron just reminding everybody that guess what? If he had half decent or three-quarter decent people around him, he would definitely be in contention to win the NBA title, even in at his age, yeah, in his 19th season. Otherwise, the West Indies, they play tomorrow, I
Yeah.
believe. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. England has like one win against us in 54 years, as in one series win, I should say, here in the Caribbean in 54 years or so, right? So hopefully that trend continues.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Kev,
lastly, and the Pakistan Australia series, yes, I'm watching that too, right?
that runs.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh,
some excellent cricket going on, even though it is just runs being piled on the scoreboard, right? But sometimes you want to man make some runs.
Chris Green and Steve. Yeah, well, Chris Green, Cameron
Come
Green
on,
and Steve
come on,
Smith were
please.
out stupidly.
Yeah.
They were stupid, but it's one of those things. Kems, you're 30.
I think England winning this series. You can say 54 years, 84 years, England winning this series. West Indies will find a way to give away their wickets and play stupid cricket as they have done for the last umpteen years. All right. The Lakers playing right now. There's no LeBron tonight. So they're playing against the Spurs. Trying to, see what they can do. They're down by 7 right now. Golden State Warriors have lost 8 of their last 10
And,
games. Not looking really good. Steph Curry out there choking in the
You lost
fourth
tonight
quarter.
again?
Well, they're going to lose because there's no Steph Curry, there's no Klay Thompson, there's no Andrew Wiggins tonight against Denver. So they're losing right now. They're losing by 7. So I think they're going to lose again. So it's not going to be 9 of their last 11. That not look good, but hey. But what else I was about to say? Oh, the NFL. we're hearing that we're supposed to hear a decision about Aaron Rodgers tomorrow. So I'm tuned into that. And there's a guy from Atlanta. His name is Calvin Ridley. He has been banned from the NFL until 2023 because he said he needed a mental break. And then he went and gambled on the games and they caught him. So he spent $1,500 on the bet and ended up losing 11 million because he lost his whole contract for that year. You know, he gets paid 11 million a year. So, you know, you tell me. But and the Jamaican team has been announced for the World Indoor Championships, and 16 persons are
Tomorrow I
whopping.
chat about it, man.
No, let them know, man. So there's 13 women and a measly 3 men. 3 men who represent Jamaica. Them
You
can't have
need
a
to take
culture.
back up running.
They can't eat, huh?
You need to take back up running.
Look so like they can't even cultivate a 4x4 team. Like they can't even get a 4x4 team. That's absolutely that's really embarrassing. But that's all I have to say.
All right. Shakes didn't do it, so I'll do it for him. So Demo in the comment section saying that Shake should big up Jamoran for his feedy piece, but I'll also big up Jason Tatum for his feedy piece as well. I like that guy, man. Plays some good basketball. But this is where we're going to call it a night on the show, and hopefully we'll be back here tomorrow. As I said, never intend to go this long, but it went a distance, and I'd like to say thanks to all of you, the commenters that has held it down until this very moment with us. Thanks to Shakes, thanks to Kems, thanks to our producer, Josh Carl, makes this possible. And thanks to all you the viewers that sit behind the screen and don't comment. Big up on yourself. Remember, keep on liking, keep on subscribing, and keep on sharing our contents and get us some more subscribers. We need it and we need more viewership. As I said, I'm not satisfied with the amount that they give us per night, so get that up. Until tomorrow, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your night.